I thought I knew my mother, but she lived a double life, had a secret family, and left behind a mysterious house filled with secrets. Now, with a missing brother, a hidden inheritance, and a home that seems frozen in time, I am forced to unravel the lies she took to her grave. But as I step into the shadows of her past, I begin to realize that some secrets were never meant to be discovered, and that this house holds more than just memories. It holds the truth that could change everything. It all started on a quiet Sunday afternoon when I received a letter from a lawyer I'd never heard of. At first, I thought it was a scam, one of those ridiculous inheritance hoaxes. But as I skimmed through the crisp white pages, my hands began to tremble. "Michael," I whispered, gripping the letter. "It's about my mother." My husband frowned, setting down his coffee. "Your mother? But she's been gone for years. What does it say?" I swallowed hard and read aloud. "Dear Mrs. Williams, I am writing to inform you of matters concerning the estate of your late mother, Eleanor Green. Due to circumstances previously undisclosed, a will has surfaced that alters the division of her assets. You are requested to meet at my office to discuss the details." I turned to Michael, my hands shaking. My mother didn't have an estate. She had nothing when she died. Or at least, that's what we were told. Michael took the letter from me and read it again. "Do you think it's real?" I bit my lip. Only one way to find out. The next morning, we drove to the law office listed on the letter. It was a quiet, unassuming building, nestled between a bakery and a flower shop. Inside, a stern-looking man in a gray suit greeted us. "Mrs. Williams," he said, shaking my hand. "My name is Richard Coleman. Thank you for coming. Please have a seat." Michael and I sat across from him as he opened a large manila folder. "I understand this may come as a shock, but your mother left behind a significant sum of money, along with a property deed." I blinked. "That's impossible. My mother lived in a tiny rented apartment. She had no savings. How could she have left anything behind?" Coleman sighed. "That's where things get complicated. It seems your mother led a life far more secretive than you realized." Michael and I exchanged uneasy glances. "What do you mean?" I asked. The lawyer adjusted his glasses. "Your mother owned a house in the countryside, along with a bank account containing nearly $500,000. And she had a second family." I gasped. "A what?" "A second family," he repeated. "A man she lived with for over 10 years and a son. Your half-brother." I felt the color drain from my face. That doesn't make sense. My mother was always with us. She raised me and my brother alone after our father left. When would she have had time for another family?" Coleman slid a stack of documents across the desk. "The records show she traveled frequently for work. But in reality, she was living a double life, splitting her time between 2 families." I picked up a photograph from the pile. It was a picture of my mother standing in front of a house I didn't recognize, with a man I'd never seen before. And beside them, a teenage boy who bore an eerie resemblance to me. My hands trembled. "She never told me any of this. Not once." Coleman hesitated. "There's more. The inheritance was originally left to be divided between you and your half-brother. However, he has been missing for over a year." I looked up confused. "Missing?" "Yes. No contact, no trace of where he went. Which means, unless he surfaces, the entirety of the estate legally belongs to you." Michael watched me carefully. I was overwhelmed, my mind racing. I don't know what to say." Coleman nodded. "Take your time. But if you want to claim the estate, there is one condition." I narrowed my eyes. "What condition?" "You must stay in the house for at least 3 months." Michael and I exchanged glances. "Why?" "Because," Coleman said carefully, "your mother left a note. And in it, she said that the house holds the truth." Silence filled the room. My mind raced with possibilities. What truth had my mother kept hidden all these years? And what would we find if we agreed to stay? Little did we know, stepping into that house would change our lives forever. As soon as we arrived at the house, a chill ran down my spine. It was an old, sprawling estate, surrounded by overgrown hedges and tall, ancient trees. The windows were dark, the air thick with the scent of rain and damp wood. I hesitated before pushing the front door open. It creaked loudly, revealing a grand but dusty foyer. Paintings of people I didn't recognize lined the walls, their eyes following us as we stepped inside. "This place feels off," Michael muttered. I nodded. "Like a house full of secrets." We began exploring, moving from room to room. It was clear no one had lived there for some time, but everything was eerily well preserved. It was as if the house had been waiting for someone to return. And then, in the study, I found it. A locked drawer in an antique desk. After some searching, I found the key hidden inside a hollowed-out book. With shaking hands, I opened the drawer and pulled out a stack of letters, all addressed to my mother. "They're from him," I whispered. "Her other husband." I read aloud, my voice trembling. "Eleanor, we can't keep living like this. The lies are catching up to us. The children will find out. I can't keep hiding the truth forever. You must choose." I looked at Michael, tears welling in my eyes. She never chose, did she? She just kept both lives going until it was too late. Michael reached for my hand, but before he could speak, a sound echoed through the house. A loud thud. Then another. Someone else was here. I grabbed Michael's arm, my eyes wide. "Michael, we're not alone." And at that moment, the front door slammed shut. The house seemed to breathe around us, the walls groaning as if whispering secrets of the past. I clutched Michael's hand, my pulse racing. "Who's there?" I called out, my voice unsteady. Silence. Then footsteps above us. Michael grabbed the nearest object, a heavy brass candlestick, just in case. "Stay behind me," he whispered. We crept upstairs, following the sound. The air grew colder, thick with something I couldn't quite place. Fear, perhaps, or something else. The hallway stretched into darkness, only faintly lit by the moonlight filtering through cracked curtains. Then we saw it. A shadow at the end of the hallway, unmoving. I gasped. Who are you?" The shadow shifted, and in a voice barely above a whisper it spoke. "You shouldn't be here." My grip tightened on Michael's arm. "Who are you?" I demanded again. The figure stepped into the light, revealing a gaunt, pale face. A young man, no older than 20, his dark eyes filled with something I couldn't read. "My name is Daniel," he said quietly. "I'm your brother, and I've been hiding here because they're still watching." I stood frozen at the top of the stairs, my heart hammering in my chest. Daniel, my half-brother, the one who had been missing for over a year. But he wasn't missing. He was here, in this house, watching, waiting. Michael tightened his grip on my hand, his voice low. "Sarah, we need to call someone." Daniel shook his head violently. "No, you don't understand. You can't trust anyone. They're watching." I took a cautious step forward. "Who's watching, Daniel? What are you talking about?" His eyes darted around the dimly lit hallway, as if expecting something, or someone, to emerge from the shadows. "Mother wasn't who you thought she was. This house, it's not just a house. It's a trap. It's been waiting for you." A shiver ran down my spine. I could see the fear in his eyes, the way his fingers twitched at his sides. He was terrified. Of what, I wasn't sure. "Daniel, please," I said gently. "Talk to me. Help me understand." He hesitated, then motioned for us to follow. We trailed him through the dark corridors, deeper into the house. The air grew heavier, thick with something unspoken. The paintings on the walls seemed to watch us, their cracked faces frozen in time. He led us to a small door at the end of the hallway. With trembling hands, he pulled out a key from around his neck and unlocked it. The door creaked open, revealing a hidden staircase leading downward into darkness. Michael shot me a wary glance. "Sarah, I don't like this." Neither did I. But we had come this far. I needed to know the truth. We descended the stairs, the air growing colder with each step. At the bottom, Daniel pulled a string, and a single flickering bulb illuminated the room. I gasped. The basement walls were covered in photographs, newspaper clippings, and letters. Strings connected the pieces like a crime scene investigation board. And in the center, a large black and white photograph of my mother, Eleanor Green, staring back at me with hollow eyes. "What is this?" I whispered, stepping closer. Daniel swallowed hard. "Mother's secrets. The ones she never wanted you to know." Michael exhaled sharply. "Sarah, this is insane." I ignored him, my hands shaking as I reached for one of the letters pinned to the wall. The ink was faded, but I could still make out the words. "Eleanor, they're closing in. If you don't act now, we will all suffer the consequences." I turned to Daniel. "Who wrote this?" He hesitated before answering. "Our father." I felt the air rush from my lungs. "Our father? But he left us." Daniel shook his head. "That's what she wanted you to believe." I stepped back, my mind spinning. Everything I thought I knew was unraveling. My mother had lied. She had kept secrets, deep, dangerous secrets. But why? Then I noticed something else. A locked wooden chest in the corner of the room, covered in dust. I knelt beside it, my fingers tracing the carvings on the lid. Daniel shifted uneasily. I've never been able to open it. But I know whatever is inside, it holds the final piece of the puzzle. Michael sighed. And let me guess, we're going to open it. I looked at him. We have to. With Daniel's help, I found the key hidden behind a loose brick in the wall. My hands trembled as I fitted into the lock. With a click, the lid creaked open. Inside were more letters. Old, yellowed with time. And a journal. My mother's journal. I opened it to the first page, my breath catching as I read the words written in her familiar handwriting. If you are reading this, then I have failed to keep you safe. And now you must learn the truth. I turned to Daniel, my heart pounding. What truth? Before he could answer, the overhead bulb flickered. Then, the sound of footsteps echoed from upstairs. Heavy, deliberate footsteps. Someone else was in the house. Daniel's eyes widened. They found us. Michael grabbed my hand. We need to get out of here. Now. But I couldn't move. My fingers tightened around the journal. I had to know. I had to read more. Then, the basement door creaked open. A shadow loomed at the top of the stairs. And a voice, low and familiar, spoke. I told you not to come here, Sarah. My blood ran cold. Because I knew that voice. And it belonged to someone who was supposed to be dead. My hands tightened around the journal as my breath hitched. The voice sent a chill through me, more terrifying than the darkness around us. Daniel stepped forward, his entire body tense. No, it can't be. The shadow moved, stepping slowly down the stairs. As the dim light caught his face, I gasped. It was our father. But he was supposed to be dead. Michael's grip on my arm tightened. Sarah, this isn't possible. Father's face was gaunt, his eyes hollow yet piercing. You were never meant to find this place, he said. And now, you've put yourself in danger. Daniel took a shaky breath. You left us. We thought you were dead. But all this time you were hiding? Why? Father's gaze softened. To protect you. From them. Michael whispered. Who are they? Father looked at the walls covered in letters and photographs. The people who controlled your mother. The people who control everything. The room fell silent. Your mother wasn't just keeping secrets, he continued. She was part of something much bigger. And now that you've uncovered this, they will come for you. A sudden noise from upstairs made us all jump. Footsteps. More than one person. They're here, Father whispered. We have to go. Now. Panic surged through me. I wanted answers, but more than that, I wanted to live. Father grabbed the journal from my hands. This is the key. But it won't be enough to stop them. A loud bang shook the house. Daniel clenched his fists. We fight. Father shook his head. No. We run. The basement door burst open, and figures in black flooded the space above. Now. Father shouted, pulling me toward a hidden door behind a shelf. As we slipped into the dark passage, my heart pounded. The truth was bigger than I ever imagined. And now we were running for our lives. My father stood at the top of the stairs, his expression unreadable. Behind him, the figures in black loomed, blocking our only way out. Sarah, he said, his voice almost pleading. You should have left. Daniel clenched his fists. No more lies. No more secrets. Tell us the truth, once and for all. Father exhaled, stepping slowly down. The truth is that none of us were ever safe. Not since the day Eleanor joined them. Them? I asked, my throat dry. The order, he said. A society that controls everything, governments, corporations, even families like ours. Your mother was their key. And now you are. My head spun. What do they want from me? Father's gaze darkened. To finish what she started. A figure in black stepped forward. Enough talking. Bring her. No. Daniel lunged at them, but they moved too fast. Michael pulled me back as hands grabbed my arms, yanking me away. Father raised his hands. Wait. You need her alive. The leader hesitated. For now. A shot rang out. Daniel collapsed, blood blooming across his shirt. Daniel. I screamed, struggling against my captors. Michael fought back, knocking one of them down, but there were too many. Sarah, run, he yelled, shoving me toward the passage. I hesitated, tears streaming down my face, before turning and bolting into the dark tunnel. Footsteps thundered behind me. I clutched the journal to my chest, my mother's words echoing in my mind. If you are reading this, then I have failed to keep you safe. And now, you must learn the truth. But the truth had shattered my world. And now, I was alone. As I merged into the cold night air, I vowed one thing. I would return. I would uncover every secret. And I would end this. No matter what it took.